They say the truth will set you free, but what if the truth is the reason you die? She thought she knew the man she married, his habits, his secrets, his life. But when Sarah Green discovered what her husband was hiding, her world unraveled in ways no one could imagine. Days later, Sarah vanished. Her friends searched. Her family begged for answers. And her husband? He claimed he didn't know a thing. But the truth was darker than anyone could have imagined. What started as a missing persons case would soon expose betrayal, deceit, and murder. This is the tragic and horrifying story of Sarah Green, a woman who paid the ultimate price for uncovering her husband's shocking double life. Before we begin this chilling true crime story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss any of the shocking twists and real-life mysteries we uncover every week. Now, let's get into it. Beverly Hills, California. A city known for its luxury, glamour, and secrets hidden behind gated mansions. In 2023, Sarah Green seemed to embody the perfect life. At 34 years old, she was a rising star in interior design, celebrated for her creativity and warmth. She had an adoring husband, a dream career, and a close-knit group of friends who loved her dearly. Her husband, Michael Green, 36, was a well-respected attorney with a polished reputation. Charming, ambitious, and deeply involved in the Beverly Hills social scene, Michael was the type of man who always seemed to be in control. Together, they were viewed as the ultimate power couple, a picture of success, love, and stability. But as with so many stories of perfection, there were cracks beneath the surface. Friends would later say there was a tension between them that Sarah tried to mask. Small things, missed dinners, late nights at work, and unspoken frustrations, had begun to add up. Sarah was starting to notice things about Michael that didn't make sense. The facade began to crumble on a quiet Wednesday morning in June, 2023. Sarah's best friend, Emily Richards, a fellow designer, became alarmed when Sarah missed an important client meeting. Sarah was never one to forget commitments. Calls and texts went unanswered. By that afternoon, Emily had a sinking feeling something was terribly wrong. The call to the Beverly Hills Police Department set everything into motion. Officers arrived at Sarah and Michael's home that evening. Michael was calm, collected, and cooperative. He told police that Sarah had left the house the previous night after an argument and hadn't come home. He assumed she needed space. But as investigators would soon discover, this wasn't just a case of a stressed woman walking away from her life. What began as a missing persons report would soon reveal a chilling tale of secrets, betrayal, and tragedy. When police arrived at the Green residence that evening, they were met by Michael Green. He was composed, cooperative, and disturbingly calm for a man whose wife had been missing for nearly 24 hours. He explained that Sarah had left the house late the previous night after an argument. She said she needed some air, Michael told investigators. I thought she just needed time to cool off. But something about his demeanor unsettled the officers. Michael was too measured, too rehearsed. When asked about the argument, his answers were vague, as if he were avoiding specifics. And there was one glaring issue: Michael hadn't reported Sarah missing himself. Why would a devoted husband wait so long to raise the alarm? The investigation quickly shifted into high gear. A search of the surrounding area led officers to a startling discovery: Sarah's car, parked in an empty lot near a public park just 3 miles from their home. Inside, everything appeared untouched. Her phone, purse, and a pair of sunglasses were left on the passenger seat, as if she had simply vanished. The discovery of the car raised more questions than answers. Why would Sarah leave her belongings behind if she planned to run away? And if she had been abducted, why were there no signs of a struggle? As detectives continued their investigation, they turned to Sarah's personal belongings in the home. They knew her life had been filled with subtle but increasing signs of distress, so they began searching for any clues in the places she frequented most: her office, her work desk, and even her closet. It was here they uncovered an important discovery: Sarah's journal. The journal, found among her personal items, gave detectives an intimate look into Sarah's growing fears about her marriage. Its pages were filled with raw emotions and suspicions, revealing that Sarah had begun to notice strange behavior from Michael. "He's hiding something," she wrote in one entry. "I don't know how much longer I can pretend everything is okay." In another, "I feel like I'm living with a stranger." It was clear from the journal that Sarah had been battling a deep sense of unease about Michael. Friends soon confirmed what the diary suggested. Sarah had confided in them that she believed Michael was having an affair, but not with another woman. Instead, Sarah suspected he was involved with another man. Sarah had noticed Michael's secretive behavior, late-night phone calls, strange messages, and unexplained absences. One friend, Emily, recalled a moment when Sarah confided in her, tears streaming down her face, whispering, "I think Michael is lying to me about who he really is." The more detectives uncovered, the more they realized that Sarah had been living in a marriage filled with deceit and betrayal. And now, her discovery of those secrets may have led her to a fate no one could have predicted. The investigation took a dramatic turn when, after days of painstaking work, security footage surfaced from a local storage facility. It showed Michael Green, dressed in a hoodie and cap, visiting the unit late at night, around midnight, carrying a large, heavy duffel bag. The footage was grainy, but the silhouette of the bag and Michael's behavior raised serious questions. The timing couldn't have been more suspicious. Just hours before this visit, Sarah had been in contact with her close friend, Emily, sharing her growing fears about Michael's double life. But she never made it home that night. 4 days later, a breakthrough came. A team of searchers scoured the area near Michael's family cabin, about an hour outside Beverly Hills. They found a shallow grave tucked away in the woods. Beneath the dirt, they discovered Sarah's lifeless body. The coroner's report was clear: she had been killed by blunt force trauma to the head, likely with a heavy object. The evidence seemed to point directly to Michael. The duffel bag from the security footage was analyzed, and traces of Sarah's blood were found on the inside. But it wasn't just the physical evidence that sealed Michael's fate, it was what investigators uncovered about his secret life. As the trial unfolded, a shocking twist emerged. Michael had been living a double life for years, one that no one in the affluent circles of Beverly Hills could have guessed. While presenting himself as the devoted husband to Sarah, Michael had been involved in multiple affairs with men. Secret relationships, hidden phone records, and messages from these lovers painted a picture of a man who had carefully constructed a false identity. Prosecutors argued that it was Sarah's discovery of Michael's secret double life that led to the fatal confrontation. On the night she went missing, investigators believe Sarah had confronted Michael about his affairs. They had an argument, one that spiraled out of control. In a fit of rage and fear of being exposed, Michael struck Sarah, hitting her in the head with a blunt object. He then staged the scene, trying to cover up the crime by hiding her body and fabricating a story about her disappearance. The final piece of the puzzle came when police traced the movements of Michael's car the night Sarah went missing. His route led them directly to the location where her body was found. Michael had tried to hide his tracks, but the evidence was overwhelming. As the trial continued, the jury was faced with a shocking truth: Michael Green, the charming attorney, had not only betrayed his wife's trust but had brutally ended her life to protect his hidden world. In court, Michael Green pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. His defense argued that the killing wasn't premeditated but rather a crime of passion, an explosion of rage triggered by Sarah's confrontation about his affairs. Michael claimed that in a moment of fury, he struck her with an object in a heated argument. The prosecution, however, presented a different picture. One of a man who, over time, carefully constructed a facade of normalcy, hiding his true nature behind lies and manipulation. After a lengthy trial, Michael was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. The judge considered the evidence of his long-standing deceit and the brutal nature of Sarah's death. But despite his guilty plea, the sentencing couldn't answer the questions that haunted Sarah's family, friends, and even the jury. Why did Michael hide his sexuality for so many years? Was he afraid of the consequences of coming out, of losing his perfect image? And more hauntingly, did his shame and need for secrecy play a role in his ultimate violent act? The jury believed it was a combination of Michael's deep-rooted deception, his fear of exposure, and the tension in his marriage that led to Sarah's tragic death. Sarah's family and friends, devastated by her loss, are left with these unanswerable questions. Her mother described her as a woman full of life, vibrant, loving, and always thinking of others. She never deserved this, her mother said in a statement after the verdict. Sarah was someone who loved deeply, and that's how she was taken. Her death has left a permanent hole in the hearts of those who knew her. Sarah's tragic story serves as a haunting reminder of the devastating consequences of secrets, lies, and the dangerous power of betrayal. As we reflect on her life, we're reminded that the truth, no matter how painful, is always better than living a lie. And for Sarah Green, it was the truth that ultimately cost her everything. What do you think? Was this a crime of passion, or was it premeditated? Could Sarah's life have been saved if the truth had come to light earlier? Let us know your theories in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this one. Together, we can keep their stories alive.